Hey guys, it's Shai here with the Shai and Deli book channel. Seriously, a name is needed. It's fine. And we are here today with the third installment of the Dark Tower series. This has been a very unique story, honestly. I did not think after book one I was really going to be interested in following up with this, but it's just kind of taken over. And I am almost all the way through the series, as I mentioned in the previous review that I did for Drawing of the Three. And today we have book number 3, which is The Wastelands. And the pros that I mentioned in book 2 continue on to this one. I definitely thought each story has just gotten better and better, and each character has been more and more fleshed out, and you just get more and more intrigue. The way this story goes is actually really, really unique because, obviously, spoilers, yada, yada. Go watch the first one. I'm going to do a series-wide review, which is going to be spoiler-free for this later on because it kind of needs it. But going into spoilers, you have a unique situation because of what Roland did in Drawing of the Three, where he went into Jack Mort, and while being Jack Mort, he stopped Jack Mort from pushing Jake and killing Jake, which led to Jake going to Midworld. You have this weird time gap between Roland has the memories of Jake, of being interacting with Jake, even though he shouldn't. And on the other side of the world, you have Jake, who has this experience of dying, but he didn't. And so it's a very interesting way of telling a story where you have Jake come back into it, and they're both going crazy because their mind is just incapable of processing this because something happened that didn't happen. So they're both going insane. Jake's going crazy, and they're kind of dealing with it on their own. You see in Midworld, Roland interacting with Susanna and Eddie, and the relationship between Eddie and Susanna developing and them falling in love with each other. And you also have Roland becoming a teacher, which is very unique, actually. It's a very fun archetype where he actually enjoys being a teacher. He likes teaching. And the story kind of connects into that, where it's getting to a point where Roland and Jake are kind of going crazy and something needs to happen. And the final string is eventually Jake does have to come to Midworld and connect again with Roland. And you have this really, really touching moment where Jake literally saying, "You won't let me fall this time." And Roland's like, "No, I'll never let you fall." And it's like, all right, cool. It's like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's going to let him fall again, isn't he? But this story was very, very good for humanizing Roland a lot more. And you see the regrets of his decisions over the years weighing on him and how much he sacrificed in his pursuit of the tower. But obviously, we'll go into it one by one, actually. You have this story. You start seeing the weird aspects of the story come into play. You have the Shardik come in, which is the bear, but he's a mechanical bear. Like, he has antennas and stuff. And it's like, okay. Well, it's not prehistoric. It's not like, are we futuristic in Midworld? What is going on in Midworld right now? What are these creatures? And there's technology, but the technology's like malformed. While being futuristic, it's not futuristic. It's obviously like the time has like the world has moved on, obviously, is such a weird phrase to say, but the experience with Shardik is very interesting, and the beams become very interesting. The beams that are holding up the tower, and we are on the path of the beam. All right, sounds interesting, cool, makes sense. Like, all right, we're following a path to the Dark Tower. And what's more interesting about this story is how involved Jake, Susanna, and Eddie become in the pursuit of the tower. It's not just Roland's cause anymore. It's their cause as well. And they're just as committed to it. And it's this book is very much their journey of the three of them of also becoming gunslingers. And very, very interesting, of them training, of them learning how to shoot, of them remembering the face of their fathers, all those kind of stuff. And the process of getting Jake back was very unique. The need for Susanna to go through that specific experience with the demon, was it necessary? Absolutely not. Is it Stephen King? Absolutely it is. Like, the only author in the world who thinks this way, Stephen King. He's like, well, how do we trap the demon? It's like, oh, we could use magic, we could do this, we could fight it, we could do this. No. I got this. And he takes his path with it, obviously, which is great, obviously. Fantastic. Very unique, very Stephen King, and adds a layer of darkness to the story. It also shows the characterization of Susanna, because it is Susanna, but Odetta is also there still. So it's a very interesting twist between them, and when a more stronger, more brutal person is needed, Odetta comes into play, and they kind of go back and forth. It's very interesting. What I really enjoy in this story is the development of the characters again, the fleshing out of characters. Book one, like I mentioned in book two, Roland is just Roland. It's just whatever. And you're kind of like, I don't know if I like this guy. Book two, it becomes better. Eddie comes in. You see the perspective of the two of them. Book three, you have now Jake and Susanna and Eddie, and you kind of get a feel of a fellowship building. And fellowships are great. Fellowships are the best trips in pretty much every story. It's the fellowship that almost gives the story the punch, gives the story the meaning it needs, because you need people to care for each other and a group and a journey for them to go on. So it's a very unique twist. It's obvious. This story is obviously Stephen King's version of Lord of the Rings. So his fellowship is building, obviously. And you have Oi, which is like the dog. It's not a dog, but it's a Billy Bumbler. And he joins in to the quartet of the constant phrasing of phrases like, this is Ka. This is fate, is pretty much what it's saying. And the belief in fate, the religious aspect of the story, is very, very interesting to me, actually, that Roland is so willing to just say, to be okay with what happens, which is honestly actually a really good lesson, to not be, what would the word be? To not get so downtrodden by events that happen to you, and just kind of have faith that this is what it's meant to be, and you play with the hand you're dealt, and you move on through the life as you can, which is a very unique twist. And then you have the first part of the story of the Wastelands is obviously the experience of them being with going and getting Jake. And then you have the riddles come into play, and Charlie the Choo Choo, and that whole thing was really interesting. His twist on a classic tale is like, what is the real? Is Choo Choo good? Is Charlie good? Is he evil? Is he not? What is going on here? It's a very, very interesting take, bringing in a different story into the mix of it all. And I actually went and looked up Charlie the Choo Choo, because they talked about how even in the pictures of the story, Charlie doesn't look like a good guy. Even if you go look at the pictures of the book, it's kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie. I'll try and put it on the screen for you here. But Charlie the Choo Choo definitely doesn't look like a good person. And if you look in the background with the children, you're like, are those good? Are they happy or are they sad? You can't tell. It's a very interesting little plot point into the story. And you have the people in Lud, and you have them kind of go through that experience of Jake getting captured and him saying, I'm gonna come after you, and the unfolding of that story, them getting split up, and the experiences that Jake has to go through, how Oi helps Roland get back to him. And you see the timeline mix-ups. You see the Nazi plane show up. You see the descendant of the person show up. And all those little things, very, very interesting. Obviously, despicable creatures in the story. Everybody in Lud, everybody's trying to... The reasons that they take Jake, the reasons that they're doing what they're doing, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. And Roland does great, kills them all, phenomenal. And you have the ending of the story, which is such a good cliffhanger, which is the Blaine the Mono and the whole experience of the trains and Charlie the choo-choo pretty much. And this story of, all right, I love riddles, and if you can beat me, I'll get you to Topeka, which is where the Path of the Beam continues. It's such a great ending. I was like, oh, it was such a great mic drop moment. I'm personally a huge fan of cliffhangers. I think cliffhangers create such a unique aspect to a story, and I thought it was handled very, very well. And again, each story, each book just makes me like and enjoy the story more and more. And I cannot wait to keep reading it and finishing the story, honestly. So this would be my review of The Wastelands, Book 3 of the Dark Tower series. And we will continue with the fourth book, which is Wizard and the Glass. And I'm very excited. Wizard and the Glass was possibly my favorite addition to the story. I'm honestly a bit of a sucker for love stories, so I love those kind of stuff. And I thought Wizard and Glass was fantastic. So I cannot wait to get into that one. And without further ado, this is the end of Wastelands. Give me your thoughts. What did you like? What did I miss? What was your thoughts and concerns about this story? Let me know everything. Talk to you guys soon.